What's up, guys? This is DUMB Universe, and this is going to be a reaction to another death battle. The one reaction series that guarantees I don't have to do highlights because Hero Attack's pretty cool when it comes to that story stuff. Now, on to the actual reaction itself. This is not a wanted one for me, but I will say that I have been a long time Spyro fan since the, let's say, Part 2 era of Spyro. The Part 1 era is the classic games that are currently being remade basically from the ground up, and will be released later on this year, I think. I never watched the trailer. All I do know is that it exists. But it's getting the crash treatment, and I appreciate that because while I did not grow up with those three games, I did, however, grow up with the Spyro New Beginning games. And me being a kid, I didn't really see like any flaws with it. I just sort of just liked the colors and the dragons and the overarching narrative that actually followed for some reason. So that being said, I'm rooting for Spyro for this one, not just because I'm a fan of his, but also because I think he has a wider array of arsenal to take out Crash. I did see in a Crash preview that he has like a ton of gadgets and stuff. But the one deciding factor of this fight is going to be the very thing that was pretty much teased at the very beginning of when this fight was announced, and that being Dark Spyro. Dark Spyro was the first dark character. When I say dark character, you know how you have your basic character, let's say Link, and then you have the dark version of that character, that being Dark Link. Dark Spyro was the first dark character that got me into the negative side of my favorite characters, and frankly enough, I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with this. All I do know is that's pretty much the deciding factor of this fight. Unless Crash has something to counter Dark Aether, he's not going to win. The only thing I can probably think of is Uka Uka, but Uka Uka himself has some limitations to himself. That's basically my rundown, so let's see what we got here. 3, 2, 1, now. Oh, this is gonna be a doozy.
The early 1990s played host to one of the biggest battlegrounds the world had ever seen.
I never really got one of those.
Console wars.
Nintendo and Sega's mascots were locked in a merciless duel over the gaming throne.
All right.
But when the smoke cleared, a surprise third challenger was rising to the top.
The Sony PlayStation. And it didn't have just one mascot. It had two.
And then it proceeded to get more, being Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, Sly Cooper, and then further on with more IPs that still has not been outmatched, maybe by Nintendo to this day. And that's great.
Like, who would win a death battle?
Like, I may not know every single like IP character of Nintendo. I just know there's an F ton. But when it comes to like Nintendo and Sony, they got the IPs. Microsoft, however, not so
Neo
much.
Cortex makes the cut.
Why not? He's an evil genius who made a mutant Aussie army of animals to take over the world.
Sure, but when it came time to assign a general for this army, Cortex chose, of all things, a bandicoot.
A bandicoot? What? You're making that up.
It's a real animal. Look.
Oh, hey, it's kind of cute. How's that little thing
continuing the trend, and I look at Crash and then I don't think of an actual bandicoot.
However, when he
the fact when it's spinning, he's more of a Tasmanian devil, but whatever.
He failed to create his fearsome general. Instead, he got Crash Bandicoot.
So Cortex threw him out like trash, and Crash became his worst nemesis ever. Which is super embarrassing, because this Bandicrash is a few snags short of a Barbie. But his physical ability...
That's the main thing, too. I'm not going to call Spyro a genius, but he definitely has the edge up when it comes to the intelligence in this fight.
Excellent jumpers, similar to their marsupial cousin, the kangaroo.
He's got superhuman strength, and can take a big hit and just keep on going, like an Energizer Bunny of pain.
Crash can double jump in midair, slide incredible
distances. I do remember me playing at
least
least one or two of the PS2 games.
He's also tapped into Mojo, a magic substance that's basically life energy, to enhance his battle technique.
What is this?
He's got his Norris Roundhouse and Triple Dragon, but his favorite move is the Cyclone Spin.
He can even give this move a boost for the Death Tornado technique. Though this can leave him dizzy and prone to counterattacks. Still, these
like he lifts himself from the air, so which would take a lot of strength.
His fellow mutant bandicoot girlfriend, Tawna,
who just looks more like an actual.
Why does she look like that?
Why?
She's like really hot, but also not at the same time.
It's like
I'm
her
really confused.
and that one bunny chick from
Crash's
Conker's Bad
natural
Fur Day.
abilities were enough to save her.
Those were the
His
two
future
characters that
battles
had
with
me
Cortex
wonder
would require more
who made these characters. Why?
Yeah, like the Rad Copter Pack. He's even got himself the
Don't even get me started with Jessica
Motorsport,
Rabbit.
the space motorcycle. What I wouldn't give for one of those.
To increase his firepower, he carries a special bazooka that uses a naturally occurring and easily attainable form of ammunition, Wampa fruits.
I don't really think that does a ton of damage to a dragon, but whatever.
I mean, this completely generic-looking mech.
But why fruit? I can't imagine it's a particularly effective projectile.
Prepare to prove me wrong, maybe.
Remember that time I shot you with my potato gun? You were stuck in a coma for like a month.
Wait,
Jesus.
what? You told me I lost that month because my time travel wristwatch finally worked.
Well, where's Crash getting all this cool tech? He can't be building it all himself.
Oh, heck no.
He's pretty dumb.
They're all thanks to his kid sister, Coco, who's 10 times the inventor Cortex is. But Crash isn't really dumb, he just lacks communication skills. He actually shows many symptoms of autism. Some people with autism, known as savants, are extraordinarily gifted in particular skill sets, and I think that describes Crash perfectly. While he may not know how to hold a conversation, he is a superb athlete and puzzle solver.
Well, I'm sure it helps that he's surrounded
there's
by
that,
friends
I guess.
who encourages better traits.
Hey, that was a good one.
Like
I never really understood why they gave him
his magical
tattoos.
mask foster dad, who's basically a god. Lucky bastard.
Aku Aku's magical mojo prowess is quite impressive. He's very protective of Crash and will often step in when Crash is in trouble. But not always.
Not
Why
always.
can he
Alright,
teleport
that's
across
good.
dimensions on his own, but can't
Wait,
teleport Crash very far at all?
This is as far as I can take us. We'll have to fight our way to the robot's interior and save your sister.
Grim?
Well,
Alright, what are you doing here, buddy? I thought you already had two kids you had to take care of.
Mistakes and become his own man, or bandicoot.
Yeah, maybe he's just being a dick.
Well, thanks to Aku Aku and his own amazing abilities, Crash has performed some incredible feats while stopping Cortex's plans time and time again.
He's strong enough to lift his adopted brother Crunch over his head. Since
Alright.
Crunch is at least twice as big as Crash, that would mean
Through a
Crash's
ton
strength
boulder,
is similar
stun
to the
the
world's best
Kick.
powerlifter.
Alright,
His
so-
cyclone attack can
Artillery
generate enough
entry.
force to lift this large boulder.
Ah,
and
he
throw it
survived
so hard
atmospheric
it
tr-
shatters on impact.
Alright, then.
Comparing its size to Crash, that boulder must weigh nearly 8 tons.
Alright,
He's
then.
also fast enough to outrun polar bears, which can move up to 25 miles per hour. But Crash really shines when it comes to durability. Just look at how well he holds up after taking 112 falling wooden crates to the face.
Are we still gonna count this?
Huh. Where do they all come from?
I don't know.
It's Aku Aku's fault. And he's right back up like it didn't even happen.
Alright, then.
Champ.
Crash has
Sure.
endured an explosion of 23 crates of TNT all at once.
Okay, we can
which,
work with
given their
that.
size could potentially level a city block. And with the
Christ.
help of Aku Aku, he even survived a crash landing from outer space.
Alright, that's the one I wanted you to,
Up with his
like,
hair.
really
This
delve
vessel
into.
was likely falling at 17,500 miles per hour, similar to the space shuttle's typical re-entry, which means the force of its collision would be equivalent to more than 2 million tons of TNT.
Alright,
Wait,
I knew they were
did
gonna
not
pull out
go.
something. I don't
Just
remember.
Teleport them to safety.
I can't believe we're okay.
Oh, are you kidding me, Aku? You know what you did. Or didn't do.
Okay,
What's
this
to
could be
say?
a bigger
Any
problem in the
Crash
fight
you
if
want
Aku Aku's not gonna
right?
protect him
Plus,
100% of the
given how
time.
easy it is for Crash's enemies to lure him into traps, his absurd durability is crucial.
Well, Crash isn't perfect, but with his amazing abilities and a little bit of mojo, he's saved the whole world many times over.
And after years of this, he even finally learned how to speak.
Now let's go home and eat pancakes. Pancakes!
Wait, that's it?
I like how there's like his sudden
Prophecy tells
like
of
his
a
own
special
realization that that is
dragon
the
born
only thing he's ever
in
said in life.
generations, destined to be a hero of
Alright, here's my boy.
This was the legend of Spyro. But when the ancient Dark Master Malefor learned of this, he swore to destroy Spyro before he even hatched.
By the way, there are at least 3 different timelines for Spyro. But
Yeah.
I'm sticking with the Legend of Spyro version because he
Okay.
can do pretty much anything the other ones can, and more. Plus, I think they're all the same Spyro reincarnated anyway, since that's what the prophecy says. And look, that's totally Skylands being.
I mean, it could be a Ben 10 Omniverse
Wild
thing.
fan theories aside, Spyro was saved from
It could
Malfor's
be.
wrath by Ignitus, a guardian dragon.
WDD.
He decided to pull a Moses and send
Guardian
Spyro's egg
incarnated
floating down a
every 10
river to who knows
generations.
where. Okay, why do so many stories start with people just throwing babies into rivers?
Eh.
It's never a good idea.
Wrong, Wiz. It worked out fine.
References
for Spyro.
galore.
He was found and adopted by a family of dragonflies, and even without fellow dragons around.
Yeah,
Spyro
I
grew up
remember
to be
this
a
game
pretty
like the
good
back of my
player.
hand, and it's
He's
very
strong,
like,
tough and makes good use of his horns, tail, and claws.
But not his wings.
I know
Not
people
yet.
didn't really like
Without a
this
dragon's
series very
parentage,
much, but I
Spyro remained
thoroughly
mostly
enjoyed it.
grounded
I played
during
all
his
3 of the
But
games.
he got pretty good at using his head. Like the fun way, not the brainy stuff. You do not want to be on the other end of his charge attack.
But one fateful day, everything changed. During a game of hide and seek with his quote-unquote brother, Sparks, they got into a bit of monkey business and, in desperation, Spyro unexpectedly breathed fire. This was Spyro's first
Unexpectedly?
hint that he was
Adopted.
adopted.
Oh god.
Hold up. You mean he thought he was an actual dragonfly the whole
Well,
time?
Poe
I
kinda
mean,
thought he was an
hints
actual
like,
goose.
I don't know. Anytime he saw his reflection.
This
So,
revelation prompted Spyro
There,
to
there
go
was
on
that
a
thing
journey
in,
search of
I
his
think it was
true
Kung Fu
home
Panda
among other
3,
dragons.
and it was like,
Oh, and
you're
Sparks tagged
adopted,
along
or
to
was
help
it 2?
find treasure and protect his dragon brother from harm.
It's like he knew it, but it's like, why do you have to say it like that? It's like, that means at some point he actually did believe it.
Dragon powers.
As a purple dragon,
Ether, light,
Spyro was
dark,
not limited to
dragon
just
time,
his
yeah,
fire.
slow down time and
After
stuff.
finding and rescuing 4 great
Lightning,
dragon
earth,
guardians,
ice, and fire.
they each became his teachers in the arts of elemental combat.
Ignitus taught Spyro how to control fire and focus it into huge blasts. Voltaire showed him how to use electric breath to stun enemies and toss them through the air. Cyril taught him to freeze foes solid and fire ice shards. And Parador showed him how to use earth breath to split rocks and roll up into a ball.
I think that was
Spyro
my most
also
used
honed
one.
his physical and chi combat with the martial art of Dragon Kata. Oh, and he finally learned how to fly.
About time.
Ah, okay.
Speaking of which, Spyro learned how to briefly slow down time to improve his reactions.
Oh, damn. What?
Man, I'm just having great
Spyro
nostalgia
learned
bombs.
the
I remember
ultimate
playing these
element,
games to death.
The convexity breath.
Ether.
Convexity.
Ether.
It's ether.
No,
Ether.
stupid. Everyone calls it convexity.
No, no one doesn't.
Purple dragons like Spyro can use a mysterious energy
Alright.
that is essentially the
Okay,
spiritual
sure.
life force of the universe. While it's never officially named in canon, lead concept artist Jared Polin has gone on record to clarify its name and properties, and he calls it Ether. Eat
Ether.
that, Boomstick.
Take
Don't
that.
convex me, Wiz. True fans know I'm right.
Ether is an
Whatever.
extremely powerful element which binds the fates of the living and the dead. With Ether, Spyro pulls from the 4 elements to create energy which, according to Polin, has power comparable to that of an atom smasher.
Jesus
That
Christ.
thing that shoots an atom around
Really?
and lights
I just thought it just
all
turned people into
sorts of
stone.
fancy stuff.
Yes, they're particle accelerators with a moving photon beam containing 362 megajoules of energy.
Alright.
I said that.
This beam can slice through a human skull in a nanosecond. Just
All
like
right.
what happened to Russian scientist Anatoly Bugorsky when he stuck his head in one of them.
Why the hell would he do
Why
that?
would you do that?
Being Russian must be hard.
Bugorsky took a beam less than a molecule thick through the skull, which obliterated all matter in its path in an instant.
Wow.
While he survived, half of his face around the microscopic hole in his head swelled, peeled apart, and was permanently paralyzed. While
Christ.
he experienced a blinding light he described as brighter than 1,000 suns.
Hey, Spyro, what was that about?
I don't really know. I just felt like I had to hit it. And when I did, the power of 1,000 suns surged through my body.
Well then.
Just imagine if that beam was the size of Spyro's super breath. No, wait, you don't need to.
You're
Seen
dead.
What it's like when
Done.
you killed the
Done.
Elf King.
Of course, Spyro's ether powers have
No
other
mercy.
uses as well, such
Done.
as curing his fellow dragon Cinder of Malfor's corruption.
Is he shooting ghosts at her? What kind of magic were they smoking when they came up with that?
But ether is dependent on a balance between light and dark. Should a purple dragon fall prey to their own anger and hatred, they risk being consumed by dark ether, or nether, transforming into a blackened, rage-filled form.
Which is my
Spyro's a
favorite.
really
I loved
nice
him.
Guy. But as Dark Spyro, he lets loose. He's
Oh, yeah.
stronger, faster, and way more violent.
Unfortunately, when Spyro's consumed by Dark Ether, he cannot return to his old self on his own. But with friends like Sparks and Cinder at his side, he's always found his way back.
Through the power of...
So unless you're gonna have Sparks snap him out of it at the end of the fight or something,
With all these powers
not
at
sure.
his claw tips, Spyro is a force to be reckoned with. He's pretty quick, outracing biplanes that can fly over 159 miles per hour.
okay, so we are
He's
using
crushed a
some
gold
content from the other
statue
games too.
about twice his size, and he's pretty tough, claiming his scales are impenetrable.
What?
So I'm electricity proof too? I knew my scales were impenetrable, but now this?
Alright, that's a no limits fallacy. Obviously, there's something that can
Spyro
probably
once took a punch
dent
from
it.
this massive magma golem.
Alright,
which
then.
Lost its arm and replaced it with a cathedral tower. This cathedral is
I
very
don't know
similar
about this
in size
thing.
to St. Stephen's Basilica, a Roman Catholic church in Budapest, Hungary. By taking the height, length, and depth of the basilica and adjusting for empty space, we can estimate the arm's mass to weigh over 400,000 tons.
Man.
Assuming a low-end punching speed of 15 miles per hour, that of the average humans, the golem must have hit with at least 1.9 million tons of force.
Alright then, I would say
Powers, saving the
they're
dragons and
about
defeating the Dark
maybe
Master
even
himself.
when it comes to durability.
Spyro tapped into ether one
He
last
just
time
pulled a planet
to
together.
Literally pull the exploding planet back together. What? How the hell?
It's still gonna take me a lot
Say a
to
mix
see
of the
Crash
power
win.
of love, magic of friendship, and a smidgen of prophetic destiny.
Wiz, I want a pet dragon more than anything.
It's a sad sight, Sparks. Another noble warrior falls victim to the plague of love. Just look away.
And then in another generation, you will happen to fall into prey tell of that and pull a planet together, so there's
Let's end
that.
this debate once and for all.
Oh man, I'm actually really
Let me
excited
tell
for
you
this
about
fight
the
now.
mascot of good food, Blue Apron.
Alright. Trust me, if I like cooking, I would support the heck out of this. Well, let's get started with the battle. Oh. Alright, I like how it's in 3D, by the way. That's great. Really gives this one justice.
What are you doing?
Hey, Sparks.
Sparks!
He's dead. He's just dead. Nuh-uh. I won't accept this if he wins. He's done. He's done. He's done. Oh, man. Come on. Come on, Spyro. I know you can tank this. You got this. You actually have that flight advantage, so you got this. Well, at least for now, at least. Great. Alright. Definitely just have the right way of Arsenal. Just like, unless Crash can get to one of his devices, like right there, apparently, he can't really do much against Spyro. I'm very impressed.
Wait a sec, was that a fruit?
Yeah, that was a fruit. It's like, fruit? Push him back, push him back. How they animate this is always intriguing to me. I love the 3D animated fights. Like, no joke, the sprites are okay, but this honestly impresses me.
Where do you keep finding these things?
Tell me about it. I'm asking myself the same thing. Oh man. Oh, Dark Spyro. Yep.
Done with this.
Yeah. It's done. TKO. You're done. You're done, son. What? Why? Yep. Done. Yes. That's my boy.
Messes with me, pal.
That was for Sparks. Oh. Look, Sparks wasn't. Spark is not the funniest thing in the world, but definitely did make me laugh when I was a kid.
His speedy flight let him control the pace of the battle, and his elemental arsenal gave him a much wider variety of attacks than Crash had ever seen in a one-on-one fight.
Yeah.
Even with his extraordinary puzzle-solving skills, Crash was simply overwhelmed. But surprisingly, this wasn't nearly as one-sided as it looked on paper.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I knew there was a game where he took control of Titans, and I didn't know it was limited, so that's good to know.
Impact's worth around 2 million tons of force. How convenient. It's almost like they planned this all along.
To be fair, we did have to lowball Spyro's durability against the Golem's punch. However, both of them had shown durability, which far exceeded much of their attack capability.
So even with his gadgets, Crash really didn't have a good way to hurt Spyro very much. But the funny thing is, Spyro didn't have many attacks that could firmly hurt Crash either. They were both just too tough.
Well,
until you get to Dark Ether,
which could literally break matter
has
apart
been
at an
defeated,
atomic
overpowered,
level.
but
not even Aku Aku
far
could
weaker
save
than
Crash
Spyro's
from being
Ether.
That intense.
I guess Crash just couldn't spin this one.
The
Done.
winner is Spyro the Dragon.
That's my boy. All right.
Guys, thanks for watching this episode of Death Battle. If you want to get the battle music for yourself, you can get it by clicking the link below.
And if
that was a really good battle music.
Commentary on this episode, click that little box over there. First membership trial.
All right, who's next? Sora! Sora! Pit? All right. Extremely excited, kind of confused. Okay. First things first, the battle itself. I loved it. All right. Again, when it comes to the Crash, I tried to get into the Insane Trilogy. I'm not gonna call it the Dark Souls of platformers. It's just the type of platformer I'm not used to. Definitely not that much so. And I do remember at least watching and sort of playing the original 3 Spyro games with my cousins back when I was younger. But I didn't play it by myself until I got into like the Part 2 generation of Spyro, that being the New Beginning Spyro. And I was pretty confident in Spyro's abilities. After I saw him pull that planet together, I'm like, man, no character I ever know could be this strong. And then I watched Dragon Ball Z and was completely shocked. But steadily enough, I agree with the outcome to this fight, and mostly because of the whole planetary feat. I don't think Crash has anything on that, and also the whole ether thing. It's just I couldn't see it. Whatever I looked up when I was online looking at how this battle would try to probably come out, there was nothing I could find that Crash could counter the Dark Ether. So I agree wholeheartedly. If there's something that they missed with Crash or something like that, please tell me. But this was pretty much an accurate fight. Now, pretty much, yeah. There's really nothing else more to really say about it other than my backstory with Spyro. That's pretty much it. But yeah, I grew up with Spyro and I loved the guy, and I would have been really upset if he died, but not so upset to really rage about it, you know. But the next battle. Heavily excited yet kind of confused. I get that both Sora and Pit are like kind of naive kids in their own right with weaponry far exceeding what they actually should be handling and using the power of light on their side, but that's about it, really. Sora goes through many different types of things while Pit's in like a stagnant area facing off against, well, from what I played throughout the game that was on the 3DS, was just Medusa and Hades, and Viridi to an extent, but mostly Medusa and Hades. While I will admit, Hades is a badass, I don't think they measure up to Ansem and Xemnas. If you haven't noticed, okay, you haven't noticed from my initial reaction, I am a huge Kingdom Hearts fan. Played every single Kingdom Hearts game, every single one. And I'm not lying. I even played the dumb mobile game that was on the phone for a while. Not Unchained Key. I did play Unchained Key. I don't think that's a dumb mobile game, but another dumb mobile game that then got ported over to Kingdom Hearts Recoded, and I played that game even though it was completely almost useless. almost. They did mention some things in Recoded. But I played every single Kingdom Hearts game. I'm the biggest Kingdom Hearts fan. You want to talk about any sort of feats, calculations, from Sora, Roxas, Riku, hell, even Kairi to an extent, even though she doesn't do much at this point. talk to me. Because I'm the biggest fan in this building right now. Josh is not that big of a fan. Tyler's trying to be that big of a fan. Seth is like the closest thing to being as much as a fan as me. But yes, I'm excited. So I'm definitely gonna root for Sora. Like straight up, already saying right now, Sora. Going for Sora. Not because it's only on bias. Not because I'm only on bias. If like Naruto is facing off against Goku or something like that, even though I like the Naruto show a lot better than Dragon Ball, I'm not gonna say Naruto has a chance against Goku. So in this case, even though it is a little bit of a bias case, I do think Sora just has the capability of beating Pit. Mostly because his arsenal is way bigger, I believe. There is no outside help in this case. Aku and Sparks in this battle, they were kind of an exception because if you're going to give somebody something, you're going to have to give it to another person. Kind of like what they did with Jean in the Bayonetta and Dante fight and Trish. They just sort of showed up and they played their part, but they played that pivotal of a role to decide who the winner is. It was still basically mano a mano. So in this case, Sora versus Pit. Pit doesn't have... He can't fly on his own. He needs Palutena's help, and if Palutena can't help him, he's basically grounded. While Sora can't fly either, flow motion pretty much can help in the matter of his movement right there, which I'm also kind of disappointed. I also got word that Kingdom Hearts 3 was slated to be in October. This could be a rumor, this could be false, this could be right, or it could be wrong. Either way, I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't wait until Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, and basically that. Because, granted, this is not the last Kingdom Hearts game. Kingdom Hearts 3 is just the end of the Xehanort saga, so I'm pretty much sure we're going to get another Kingdom Hearts game like 4 years or 3 years down the line afterwards, right? But this would be the last like thing you could take feats off of, because in the trailers alone, you already see him like taking down the Rock Titan on base form and just taking them on. And go on and so forth. So who knows what other characters he would have been fighting and for more feats, which kind of makes me believe that's just kind of like, look, I like Pit, I love this game, and I like my introduction to him during the Smash, but other than certain feats I can get when he was fighting Hades, I'm not seeing him winning this battle. And this has nothing to do with me liking Sora more. This just has to go with more of just Sora sliced through multiple skyscrapers casually in his base form with that's it. I think that's alright, that's casual. He wasn't even trying. He just sort of did it. So with that already, his speed, his natural talent with the Keyblade, all around his magic, his straight up arsenal, there's even a good argument to be made that he can still use his drive forms. Now I know that some people are gonna say that the drive forms are connected to like Sora, Donald, and Goofy. If Sora wants to go into his Valor form, he needs to sacrifice Goofy, right? If Goofy's not there, he can't go into his Valor form. But I plead gameplay logic for that, because if you go into the first cutscene where he first goes into Valor form, Goofy's still there. Meaning that in actuality, he could just use it. It's just they didn't want to make it overpowered, so they need to give you a condition to do it. But if we're going to go off that stances and, you know, if we're not going to plead gameplay logic, let's say he can't use it, he can still use his limit form. That basically gives him all of his old moves when he was a kid, and those moves are overpowered as all hell, and he's still a force to be reckoned with. So, I'm trying to think of things for Pit. Because since he doesn't have Palutena, but let's say he does have Palutena, what does he have? He has good flight movement because Palutena, I think Palutena said that she was the one controlling his flight pattern. He has good flight movement, a wide array of arsenal. His blade thingies that can go into a bow is definitely versatile, but I don't know. Again, it has been a while since I actually played the game, so I could be missing one or two things. The three Sacred Treasures definitely can give him a leg up, definitely. But so can Final Form for Sora if he's able to do it, or just any moveset that I can believe from. It's like, not to mention he has magic that can stop people in their place, basically do a little Zawaldo around him and just attack him a bunch. I don't think Pit has time resistance. And this is gonna be hard. This is gonna be a good one. This is gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one only because I want to see what they're gonna do to change my mind about Pit. You guys can do that too in the comment section below, but right now it's just it seems like a steamroll on Sora's Kid, and I'm not trying to be mad at Pit. I'm not trying to do anything to Pit. I love Pit, but definitely y'all need to convince me how Pit stands a chance against Sora at this point, because one of my because I got a very stubborn roommate here. His name is Tyler. And every time I bring up Sora versus Link, he always thinks Link can win. Link can't beat Sora, alright? You can argue that with me too. But I do believe Pit is a better choice other than Link, I guess. It's just it's all because he can't fly. It's all because he actually can't naturally fly. That's the main problem here. Unless I'm missing something. Could he? Okay. Anyway. That's good. I think I pretty much dwelled on this enough. This was a great battle. I love seeing one of my favorite characters get into the limelight. Happy to have a Kingdom Hearts character show up in Death Battle. Granted, I think other than Riku and maybe Axel, I don't see any other like characters coming out of Kingdom Hearts, unless they're really gonna surprise me and say, "Oh, by the way, Xehanort is coming up." Ansem, yeah, anyone. We're gonna bring one of the villains in too. So. Or Xemnas. Or Xemnas is good too. I mean, the whole thing is, another thing would be, oh, what about the moments where Sora needs his friends to help? Well, he did go through pretty much the entirety of his Masteries exam alone, if you want to count his minor help with those Pokemans, even though they really didn't help at all in his fights. But whatever. I'm dwelling on this a little too much. I think it's because I'm a big Kingdom Hearts fan, so obviously I'm going to talk a lot more about something that I really know about. So I'm happy that right now Death Battle is going on pretty strong. It had like a great. And it is all after I said I didn't really like the fact that they started off with a repeat battle, you know, bringing Batman again for the third time. Why just Batman? Why just Batman? And then they hit me with something great, and then they just keep stacking it on with something more interesting. I'm actually invested in seeing the next battle each and every time. So I'm excited. Hope you're excited. Tell me what you think, and this is DMV Universe. See you guys next time. Bye.